ISO 4 is going to be a bit interesting. I'm going to be using a mid-plane extrusion or a bidirectional extrusion for this. Actually going to create this part starting in the middle of it. So imagine that I'm drawing kind of in the middle of this plane here. Okay, I'm actually going to draw this L. Okay, but sort of like starting in the middle and then extrude it in both directions. So let's count here. We have 1, 2, 3. Sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is 8 wide. So when I extrude it, I'm going to make sure that it's 8 wide. All right, so again, I'm drawing this L. So this L has a 1, 2, 3, an upper part that's 3. The lower part is 2 more. So it's 5 high. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wide. And we're just going to be drawing this on the right plane this time. So we're making quite a couple of changes here. Okay, so let's give this a shot. All right, I've already started a new part. Let's save it. It's going to be ISO 4 in your name. Make sure you put it in your folder. And so we'll use the line tool. And this time I'm going to draw on the right plane. Okay, and I'm going to be using the line tool to make a backwards L. Okay, so I'm snapping to these vertical and horizontal lines to make sure that I'm nice and see all my perpendicular constraints coming up. That's perfect. That's just what I want. Okay, so this is going to be too tall here. Oops, get out of my line tool, grab my dimensions tool. 2 inches, right? And of course now, this is what happens sometimes when you add a dimension and something stretches, the rest of it doesn't necessarily stretch. So what I just did was I got out of the dimensioning tool by hitting escape on my keyboard, and now I just dragged that up so that I can resize it. All right, and I'll just resize this all a little bit, kind of drag it out a little bit here. All right, so this is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 deep. Oops, get my dimension tool. 5. And this will be 5 high. That's 1, 2, and then 3, 4, 5. And of course, this is only 2 here. And now it is fully defined. I don't need to put the 3 because 5 minus 2, that's automatically 3. All right, this is going to get extruded backwards. And again, let's just count this. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it'll go back 8. I'll just save since it tells me to save it. It's trying to remind me not to forget to save. Okay, so let's do an extrusion. It'll be 8 inches. And I don't know if it went the way I wanted it to, so let me make sure. Which way is it going? Yeah, I'm going to reverse it. Get it away from me. There we go. Now, I just did that as a regular extrusion, but I had mentioned to you that I'm going to do it as a midpoint extrusion, okay? Which is basically this. They call it a symmetric here. And so watch what's going to change when I hit symmetric. I'll just get this wide open here. It's going to go in 2 directions instead of 1. All right, it's still going to be in a total of 8. It's just that it's going 4 in each direction. And what that does for me is now I actually have, if we expand our feature tree and look at our right plane here, you'll notice that the right plane is in the center of my part, which is really cool because now I can draw this triangle on that right plane and also do a symmetric extrude on that. Okay, so this is going to be pretty simple because it's going from point to point. There's really not any measurement that I need here. So I'm going to create a new sketch, and since I already had that plane selected, it automatically is putting the sketch there. You can see my axes. All right, so let me try that again. I'll undo. And I want to show you that I selected that plane, not that one, this, the XY plane. All right, and then I'm doing a 2D sketch, and it's putting it on that plane. Okay, so let's turn this to the right. We're going to create a triangle. It's going to start in this corner, come all the way up to that corner, and all the way down to that corner. All right, and so I just, of course, have to finish it off. That's now a closed profile. When I finish that sketch, I can extrude that, but instead of it going in one direction, it's going to be going in two directions, and this is too wide. And that has put it right into the center. That made making this part pretty simple, okay? The last thing we need to do is cut off this piece here. So we'll just draw another sketch on the front of this, front face of that. Okay, notice my axes here. And this will be a line going from this corner up to here somewhere. And I want to cut away this part of it. So I'm going to enclose the sketch over there. Okay. And so I do need to add a constraint, a dimension on this line here. So I've got to go from line to point. And then you'll notice, if you look here, that that's 1, 2 in from the corner. Okay. So I'll make that 2 inches. And it's fully defined, as you can see. So we will finish the sketch, do an extrude. Now this will be a cut extrude. So don't forget to select cut and okay. And this part is done. So do not forget to save your part when you're finished.